Hi everyone, welcome to Pilates and Planks. My name is Callie, and today's workout session will be a little bit on the more relaxed side. So this is a really great session if you're looking to do some exercise that isn't gonna be super strenuous, but is still gonna leave you feeling a little energized. If you're having low energy levels today and you're really just needing to get some gentle movement in, this is the workout for you. All you need is your mat, and we'll go ahead and get started there. So let's begin laying down onto our back, and we'll have our knees bent with our feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. Let's start by just placing our hands on top of our rib cage and taking a moment to get connected to our breathing. So as you breathe in through your nose, I want you to feel your ribs expand nice and wide into your hands. And as you exhale, feel your ribs knit together. You can even gently use your hands to press your ribs towards one another. Again, breathe in, feel your ribs press into your hands. And as you exhale, feel your ribs pull close together. Let's do that 2 more times. Just getting some oxygen into our bloodstream and into our muscles. And start to notice how your core engages a little bit more as you are exhaling. Good. Let's continue with that breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. But let's bring our arms down by our sides. Have your arms so long that your fingertips are almost touching your heels, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Breathe in to prepare. And on your exhalation, I want you to imprint your lumbar spine, squeeze your glutes, and roll the hips up 1 vertebrae at a time into a spinal bridge. Take a full breath in here at the top, and then exhale, start to melt your spine back down 1 vertebrae at a time through imprint back to a neutral spine. Again, breathe in at the bottom. Exhale, engage the glutes, roll the hips up 1 vertebrae at a time. Full breath in here at the top, and an exhale to roll back down. So let's continue to cycle through a couple more of these bridges with the intention of getting really nice and articulated through our spinal column. So with your breath and your abdominal engagement, feel each little vertebrae coming down independently of the next. Feel your knees tracking straight forwards over your second toe. So your feet are on parallel, your knees are on parallel. And at the top of the next bridge, whenever you arrive, let's go ahead and stay lifted. Let's feel that we're a straight line all the way from our knee down to our shoulder here. There's no crease in the front of your hip joint. It's nice and straight. Lots of times people will try to get their hips higher by arching their lower back here. You want to avoid that by scooping your tailbone underneath of you, like a sad dog with its tail between its legs. When you're in a proper bridge, you should feel a lot of work through your glutes and hamstrings, nothing in your lower back. Core is tight. See if you can relax your neck and your shoulders. And let's begin to lift our heels up off the floor and place them back down. Again, heels lift and lower. If you suddenly feel like your feet are too far away from you, feel free to scooch them closer to you. And as you're lifting up those heels, make sure your ankles are still tracking straight ahead over your second toe. Avoid rolling onto the outside of your feet. We'll keep our heels down for a moment. Draw one leg to a tabletop position. So knee over your hip, shin bone parallel to the ceiling. Place it back down and then switch. Continue to alternate slowly with these marches. Be mindful of what's happening to the rest of your trunk. In a perfect world, we're staying really still and stabilized. On your next one, let's meet with our right leg straight to the ceiling, or however straight you can get it. Point your foot and begin to draw little circles on the ceiling. Aim to do about 5 circles the size of a softball. And then reverse it for 5 as well. After those circles, flex your foot, lower your straight leg away from you so that your thighs are side by side. Point your foot, return to the ceiling. Flex, lower the leg away, point, lift. Exhaling as you're lowering that leg. Replace your right foot when you finish. Make sure your hips are still level. Take a second to check in. And then draw your left leg all the way up straight to the sky. Foot pointed, 5 small circles. Practicing good core stability. And then reversing for 5. Flex your foot, lower your straight leg away from you. Point your foot, return to the ceiling. Thighs stop side by side and then lift back up. After those 5, replace your left foot, lift the hips up a little bit higher, retuck that pelvis. Make sure the front of your hip joints are straight. Take a big breath in. On your exhalation, roll with your ribs first, rolling all the way down through imprint, back to neutral spine. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Gently rock right and left. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders, curl into a nice tight ball. Feel that your lower back is firmly pressed into the mat. Gently extend the legs up towards the ceiling. You can flex your feet here, getting the backs of those legs as straight as you possibly can at this moment. We'll remain lifted and take this into leg scissors, gently grabbing one leg as the other leg lowers away, and then switch. Exhale as you pull a leg in. So our core is working to keep us lifted up off of our shoulder blades and to keep our lower back in an imprinted position. We're getting a nice stretch through our hamstrings and calves, simultaneously working those abs. You can start to add a double pulse with your legs. Exhale, exhale, switch. Exhale, exhale, switch. Getting a little bit further of a stretch on that second pulse. Remain lifted as you finish this last one. We'll come back to tabletop, knees over hips, shin bones parallel to the ceiling. Take single leg stretch. One leg is straight while the other leg extends away from you, and then switch. For right now, just stop your knees on top of your hip socket. Don't bring them too far in towards you. And we'll continue moving those legs. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows wide, and slow it down for crisscross. Opposite elbow coming towards opposite knee. Be mindful that you're keeping even weight across the back of your sacrum. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Take a little breath. Bring your arms down by your sides. Bring your legs back to a tabletop position. Establish your imprint. So again, there's no arch in your lower back. Keep a 90-degree angle behind the knees and start with single leg toe taps. So touching one foot to the floor, pick it back up, and then switch. Alternate slowly. We're gonna keep the angle behind our knee the same size as that leg is traveling through space. You should feel your abdominals working really intensely to keep your lower back flat. You might start to feel some work through your front of your thigh because your hip flexors are working to pull your legs up to tabletop. You can flex your feet and continue with this movement With your heels leading the way down, it's a little bit more challenging because it's farther for you to go. So as we continue to progress this exercise, you might decrease your range of motion in order to keep your lower back flat. Glue your legs together in tabletop, point your feet. This is when it's gonna get a lot more challenging. Take an exhale as you lower your legs down about a quarter to halfway. Hold at your lowest point, make sure your back is flat, and then pull the legs slowly back up to tabletop. Exhale as you lower the legs away from you. Pause at your challenge point, and then exhale as you pull the legs back up. Let's do this a few more times. Exhale to move. Inhale to stay. Exhale to return. 2 more. Keep your neck relaxed. 1 more. Hug your knees into your chest. Take another little breather. Good. Okay. Extend your legs along the floor. Glue them together. Flex the feet. Reach your arms straight to the ceiling. Take a big breath in to prepare. On your exhale, we're going into a roll up. So exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, looking towards your toes. See if you can flatten your lower back at this point, and then continue to roll yourself all the way up. And we'll take a nice forward fold over those legs. Take a little breather. Inhale to find length through the spine, looking at the ground in front of your feet. Exhale to forward fold over those legs. Round your spine as you restack 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way up. Good. Resituate if you're off your mat. We'll have our legs together, feet flexed, bring our arms straight out to the side. Taking spine twists, you're gonna take 3 little pulses as you rotate to the right. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, center. And then to the left. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Continue. Your legs are not moving. 1 more time each side. Keep your arms lifted. Separate your feet now as wide as your mat. We'll take Pilates saw. Inhale as you rotate to the right. Exhale as you saw off that left pinky toe. Turn your gaze, look back at your right hand. Restack the spine and then come back to center. Inhale, rotate to the left. Exhale to saw off that pinky toe. Turn your gaze, look at your back hand. Restack the spine and then back to center. Again, twist, keep equal weight through your sit bones. Reach for that toe, restack, and center. 1 more time, twist, reach for the pinky toe, look back at your other hand, restack, and center. Good. You can lower your arms for a second, bring your legs back together, but scoot forward because we're gonna be rolling all the way down to our back here. So legs straight, feet flexed, hands shoulder width apart, big breath in. Exhale, roll all the way down. Segment by segment. Keep your collarbone wide. Place yourself down with control. You can take a breath in as you reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, roll yourself back up, 1 piece at a time. Once up on this one, we're gonna come into our rolling like a ball exercise. So make sure you don't have anything behind you that you could potentially hit your head on, and you're on a cushy enough surface so that you're like not doing this on a wooden floor, okay? Because this can definitely bruise your spine if you're on a hard surface. We're going to curl ourselves into a little ball, and we're gonna be holding onto our ankles or like underneath our calves, so like our Achilles area. Bend the knees and push your hands into your Achilles and your feet down into your hands. So there's this resistance already. Feel your core kind of working to stabilize against that pressure that you're creating. Keep your chin tucked towards your chest. Now the first couple, they're usually not my greatest. It takes a little bit to get into our groove, but we're gonna be rolling back to the, ideally, tips of our shoulders, and then back up without touching your feet to the floor. Roll back, and up. Now we want to be really round so that we roll nice and smoothly, like a quarter rolling on its side, instead of like a set of dice that's all jagged. Let's do a few more, because it usually takes a few to start to feel the magic of this exercise. One more, and we'll meet at the top of our starting position. Let's bring those legs back into a tabletop position. Bring the arms forward in front of you, palms facing down. Breathe in. Exhale, roll all the way down. One vertebrae at a time. Once down, you can hug your knees in towards your chest and take a little recovery here. We'll be moving into roll over next. So again, make sure there's nothing behind your head, like a chair or a wall that you might kick your feet on. So I'm gonna scoot down just a little bit more. Find tabletop, establish a flat lumbar spine, arms heavy down by your sides here. Inhale to extend the legs out straight to about 45 degrees here. Already your abs are working. We lift the legs up to the ceiling so our feet are roughly above our hip sockets. Of course, if your hamstrings are a little tighter, feel free to keep a slight bend of the knee. We're going to press down through our arms, contract the abdominals, start to let the legs come back as far back as you can. Your butt's gonna start to come off the floor. Push down to roll over. Now, we're just rolling onto our shoulders, so there should be a small arch in the back of your neck, and your chin is not jamming into your chest. Your legs are roughly parallel to the ceiling. Start to slowly roll your spine back down with the energy that your legs are still reaching to the wall behind you. As your tailbone comes back down into contact with the floor, that's when your legs are gonna reach to the ceiling, and then lower them back down to approximately 45 degrees, and that completes your first rep. Inhale, lift the legs to 90. Exhale, roll over. Full breath in through the nose, and exhale, rolling back down through imprint. Stay imprinted and lower the legs away. So let's do this a few more times. So this exercise actually builds on bridge work as well as the roll down that we did, as well as rolling like a ball. So all of those exercises I just stated help us to be able to do this slightly more challenging exercise. So if you are struggling with this, those are the exercises you want to start to work on to increase your spinal mobility, specifically your spinal flexion. Let's take one more. Exhale to roll over. Inhale to pause. And then an exhale to roll down. When you complete that set, you can hug your knees in towards your chest, take another reprieve. After all that spinal flexion, let's take a little twist. So you can gently lower both of your knees over to the left side. Open your right arm out to the right side and look over your right shoulder, or whichever way you went. Contract your abs. Exhale as you pull your legs back up to tabletop, recenter. And then slowly, with control, lower your legs to the other side. Turn your head, look over your opposite shoulder, and you can flip the palm of your hand up to face the ceiling so your shoulder is open. Contract the abs, pull the legs back up to your tabletop position, and then just hug your knees into your chest one more time. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Curl yourself into that nice tight ball. Give yourself a good squeeze. Breathe in. And your exhale, let it all out. Let your legs and arms get long along the ground. Reach overhead. Let your ribs expand. Let your back arch off the floor. Slowly drag your arms out to the sides, all the way back to the hips. Then we'll bend our knees in, just like how we started here. Then you're gonna roll to one side. Use your hands to help press yourself up to an upright position. And you're gonna pat yourself on the back because that was a 20-minute flow. Yes, 20 minutes. And you didn't feel like working out, but hopefully you stuck it through. And you're feeling so much better now that you did all of that breathing and all of that spinal flexion. Those rollovers are super great for getting oxygen and good energy moving throughout our body. So thank you again for making time for yourself, even when it's tough. As always, please like, comment, and share on this video. It helps support this channel so that I can continue to bring you free content. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.